Hello everybody, it is me, Jurassic Alt, here to say that today we're going to be talking about Tales from the Pizza Plex, Story 3, Cleithrophobia from Book 3, Somnophobia. I got that backwards, sorry, my bad. Yeah, this story is very interesting. There's some potential stuff that I could see as a big thing in the lore, yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to give you a summary of the story. So the summary starts off with a group of kids starts off as a prologue. A group of kids decide to go to the Mega Pizza Plex, and they decide that they're going to try and go to every single attraction and big theme thing at the Mega Pizza Plex. And when they go to the index, they see that there is one called Belor's Fitness and Flex, but it is not on the main map, it's in the index area. Then it cuts to our main story, which is about a guy named Grady who works at the Mega Pizza Plex, who is a tech guy there. Grady is working at the Mega Pizza Plex, and it's starting to get late at the end of his shift, and his co-workers decide that, hey, we got 10 more minutes until we can go home. We're going to finish up our work tomorrow, and that'll be a tomorrow problem. Well, Grady doesn't want to do that tomorrow, and he decides that, hey, you guys go ahead and go. I'll stay here and finish up the last 3 things he's got to do, and so he doesn't have to do them tomorrow. So he does his 2 things that he has to do, and then goes to Belor's gallery to do his final thing, and that is to double check everything's working there and make sure it's up to date. So basically Belor's Fitness and Flex is kind of just a giant parkour tube thing that you just go through. Grady has Cleithrophobia, which is the fear of tight spaces, and the reason why he has the fear of tight spaces is because one day when he was being babysat, babysitter locked him in a closet. Very dark, and I would be traumatized if that happened to me too. So he's kind of freaked out as he's going through this thing. He goes through the parkour part and goes into the tube parts, which he meets Belor down there, and Belor saying, I will get you through this, you got this, if you need help, just call for me and I'll help you out. And so he goes to the first checkpoint and is like, alright, this is fine, a little spooked, but it'll be okay. Then he goes to the second checkpoint. As he's going through the second checkpoint, getting to the third one, he gets stuck and calls out for Belor to be like, hey, Belor, can you help me out? Goes to Belor, and Belor comes over to help Grady out. And as Belor is helping Grady out, Belor grabs his arms and almost pulls them out of his sockets. Very painful, and Belor doesn't respond and just was like, yep, this is fine, I'm about to pull out your arm sockets. And they go to the second checkpoint. Grady decides, hey, I'm not going to stay here. I'm just going to wait right here. Or I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to stay right here. And he doesn't do that because he knows he's going to be made fun of it for it. So he decides, hey, I'm going to go to the next checkpoint, or the final checkpoint, and see if I can just make it through. Well, he doesn't make it through. He gets stuck again and is dead silent because he does not want Belor to come back, because last time Belor tried to help him, Belor almost pulled out his arm sockets. So he's staying quiet, and then Belor just decides that, hey, I'm just going to come into the tunnels and help you out, even though you clearly don't want to be helped out. And Belor comes to his rescue, I say air quotes, rescue, and tears him up. Oh my goodness. The detail that they give of his arms breaking, his eye getting poked out, and just, it was gory, it was gruesome, absolutely disturbing. Then it cuts to his co-workers coming back to the Mega Pizza Plex because they forgot something. I don't remember what they forgot. They see that Grady is still here, and so they decide to try and look for Grady. And when they go into Belor's Fitness and Flex, they see the mangled body parts of Grady and decide that, hey, it's not worth saving him because he's probably dead already, and we will get in trouble for leaving him here alone. And so they just leave him there and just decide that they shouldn't. It's not worth it because he's clearly not going to make it, but he is still alive somehow, and then sees them leave him with Belor, and Belor basically takes him away for the final time. So yeah, very gruesome story. Let's get to the side notes. So the next thing is, I want to mention that I feel that is important, is that at the beginning of the story, they mention Foxy as a wooden character. Now, I know Foxy was always kind of just a side character, but I kind of feel like Foxy never got a glam rock version of himself. I think Foxy was that much of a side character that it was just Foxy did not get a glam rock, because like we haven't seen a glam rock Foxy or a mention of a glam rock Foxy. We've mentioned glam rock Bonnie, Chica, Freddy, Monty, and Yeah, but we haven't gotten any mention of a Glamrock Foxy. Seems really weird. With Balora's Fitness and Flex, I'm kind of wondering if they replaced that with Mazer Size, because we don't see any Balora's Fitness and Flex, but we do see something that's kind of similar to Balora's Fitness and Flex, and that is Mazer Size. So maybe they replaced Balora's with Mazer Size, quite possibly. Another thing is that they mentioned a giant theater castle in the middle of the Mega Pizzaplex, which is very interesting, which was not expecting that. Also, I believe that in the story they mentioned about the daycare, and it seems like the daycare was a lot bigger and was originally where Roxy Road was, by the description of how everything is placed. So that's kind of something interesting to talk about. So yeah, that might be, maybe we'll get an answer why it's downsized, maybe we'll get an answer why it's Sun and Moon, why they moved the daycare. I don't know. We will probably get answers. Hopefully we do. The two things that Grady has to fix are arcade games, and machine 2 and 5 aren't working. Now, that might be foreshadowing that Gregory is here, quite possibly, because I know we get a story in the future about someone working on the arcades and trying to find out who has the highest score in the game. Quite possibly that's Gregory, a reference to Gregory, possibly, I don't know. In the Mega Pizzaplex, in the top office, up here in this area, they are mentioning that there is a security problem, and they basically have to go back and use files for everything. So maybe that's Glitch Trap kind of already in the system taking over, or doing wave 1 of taking over the system, because it seems like Glitch Trap has taken over the system quite a few times in the leaked emails and here in the books. So maybe we'll get a reference to that, quite possibly. Also, another thing that they mentioned is Ballora making clicking sounds, which they only mentioned twice, but it kind of just felt like off, just enough to be important to keep in mind. So they mentioned that when the reason why Grady doesn't want to stay where he is at the second checkpoint is because someone else was made fun of for throwing up, so maybe that might be a reference to that, something coming up soon. I don't know. Another thing is Grady wasn't supposed to go to Ballora's gallery or Ballora's Fitness and Flex until next week. So that means someone changed his schedule to be at that it was this week. Just kind of seems weird. Also, they might have blocked it off, and that kind of reminded me of what happened to Afton, because he was locked in the the safe room for about 30 years. This might be like the same thing that's happening with Ballora, of being blocked off and just not seen. But yeah, those are two things that I felt like were important. So yeah, let's get to the main meat of the theory. So my main meat of the theory is that Gregory is here, and his parents are employees at the Mega Pizzaplex. More likely construction workers, because in Security Breach, Gregory mentions this line.
Way to go, superstar! It is the safest path.
Okay, but you better be careful moving around. I don't want to be crushed and twisted into a meat pretzel.
At first, I thought this was referencing the Funtime animatronics of how they would kind of take kids and what happened to Elizabeth. But now, I'm kind of wondering if it was a reference to this, because in this story, they mention two times that meat pretzel, and with Ballora. And that would be a connection with the Funtime animatronics. Did Ballora do the whole body kind of container thing? No, probably not, but they mentioned meat pretzel 2 times. First reference was on page 199. It says, Grady's wrist cracked. Heard them snapping like pretzels. That was reference 1, and reference 2 that they made was on page 200. It says, it didn't care that Grady was being twisted and compressed into something not unlike the pretzels he so loved. That is 2 references. The first one was a pretzel reference. The second one is basically him saying that he's being made into a meat pretzel. So I believe that Gregory is still, from the beginning, has been at the Mega Pizzaplex. From the very beginning. Maybe since the construction of it, when they were in the underground area. Most likely not, but there is a big potential chance. But I do believe that Gregory's parents are at least employees working at the Mega Pizzaplex. Who are Gregory's parents? I have no proof quite yet. I need to reread the leaked emails, because I definitely think right now I kind of had a feeling that it might possibly be Lucas. But there's no proof at all. There's no proof. I just kind of, if I had to make a guess, I feel like it was Lucas, who is maybe potentially Gregory's dad, but Lucas works in marketing, I believe. I don't think so, but I would have to relook at the emails. But I definitely think Gregory's parents are employees working at the Mega Pizzaplex. Where in the Mega Pizzaplex? I have no idea. More likely construction. I have no proof yet, but I will make a theory about that, who I think they are. That will be a video for some other time. Let's get to the timeline part. See, the timeline's kind of hard for this part. The beginning part, the main meat of the story, that's easy, because I would have to put that right at the beginning. Right at the beginning of the Mega Pizzaplex. That's easy. The prologue, that is kind of hard, because technically it takes the same time as under construction. But you're probably wondering, why don't you just put it at the beginning if it's 5 months? No, hear me out. I would put it in the Bonnie era of when Bonnie was in. But Bonnie, they mention a Monty costume. That is the story that they mention a Monty costume. Now, they don't mention it as an animatronic. They just mention it as a costume. Now, does that mean my theory of Monty started out as a side character of just a guy in a costume? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Monty didn't get a main character arc of just being the main stage. It was just a side character. So if that's the case, then yes, I would put it right in the Bonnie area. But I don't think so. I think it takes place right around the same time as Pressure, which is the last story. But we didn't get to confirm when Pressure was. So I feel like Pressure is kind of in the middle. I don't know. But I'm going to have to put it right. Maybe I'm going to put it in front of Pressure. Quite possibly. I'm going to come out with a whole timeline video soon. Hopefully. I wanted to do it after this third book and just take my time and just kind of look through the books and kind of get a timeline figured out. But they decide that we're going to make a new book literally the same month as Somnophobia, which is great. I love FNAF content. I love making these videos, but it's goddamn stressful. But yeah, I'm going to put it right before Pressure. I will come out with a timeline theory video eventually, hopefully soon, because they just keep spitting these books out every week. I feel like it at this point. Yeah, that's me ranting. I'm sorry. Let's get to the outro part. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means so much when you took the time out of your day to watch this video. Guys, I am so sorry. This video and the next video, hell, I might even put it in with this video because it's short. The epilogue in the story, I don't understand. There's like one thing that's like, yep, got a thing for that. That's going to be epic. But this other thing, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. That video is probably going to come out Friday or Thursday. So either you're going to get a video out tomorrow or get another video in 2 days. I'm probably going to do it in 2 days, but you might get it next Wednesday because that's when I release these books. Every Wednesday, a week after the Wednesday the book is released. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It means so much to me you took the time out of your day to watch this video. I'm sorry the audio is wonky here. So yeah, I'm sorry. What else? What do I say? Outro. I'm sorry. I'm really disorganized, guys. I'm so sorry. Pipes, corn, and frog, dogs. I don't know.